So you're thinking about moving to Reno, or maybe you've already moved here and you're lying awake at night wondering if you're a genius, or did you just spend $500,000 to live in a wind tunnel with views? Or you could even possibly be still sitting on Zillow at 2 a.m. thinking this one has mountain views and looks nice. This could be the one. So let's talk about the top pros and cons of what it's like to live here in Reno. And here's the truth. Reno's not that place that's the perfect Instagram post where the skies are always golden. We do have at least 300 days of sunshine, legitimate mountain access, 4 actual seasons, and no state income tax. But we also have wildfire season, which shows up every August like an unexpected house guest. Then we couple all of that with our house prices went to therapy, and they've come out of that meeting deciding they're worth every bit of it. And then finally, there's the wind. That could legitimately qualify for its own weather conditions. So let's talk about what's really going on here with the numbers, what it's really like, and possibly even with a touch of sarcasm. I'm Chris Raynor. I've been selling real estate now for 21 years, which means I've actually watched this quiet little high desert city move from cheap rent and slot machine soundtracks to one of the fastest growing metros in the entire country. So today you're going to get actual pros and cons and not what's on the tourism brochure. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you what Google won't tell you and that one friend who spent a weekend here doesn't know. And this first one, well, this is what's got thousands of Californians packing up and relocating. And this brings us to the first pro, and that is there's no state income tax. It's like getting a pay raise in disguise. Nevada charges 0 income tax. This is in contrast to California charging 13.3% and up if you're a high net worth earner. So if you make roughly $250,000 a year, that's about $30,000 a year in savings just simply for moving over the border. You'll also get cheaper gas taxes, lower registrations, and fewer regulations when it comes to business. So this is going to give you a business environment that doesn't make you cry when you look at those spreadsheets. It's like getting an actual financial detox. And that's one of the main reasons why those Californians are packing up those Teslas and moving out east. If you'd like to take a look at your personal situation and look over those numbers, my team and I will do a free consultation over Zoom with you. There won't be any sales pitch, just honest conversation, real math, and all of our information's down below in the description. But pro number 2 is the location of Reno is truly amazing. As I mentioned, we get over 300 days a year of sunshine. We have over about 600 miles of trails for both biking and hiking. We also have mountains that you can climb, streams you can fish out of. But Tahoe is only about 35 miles away, and Mount Rose Ski Resort is the local favorite, and it's literally only 25 minutes down the road. And if lakes are your thing, we have Pyramid, Donner, Boca, and Stampede. All of these are within about an hour. It's basically a paddleboards enthusiast dream. So living here, well, that's like accidentally being sponsored by REI. You could ski in the morning, mountain bike by noon, still be home for 6, and then pretend that you're training for something by 8 p.m. And unlike Vegas, we actually have 4 seasons, the kind that you can photograph without 17 filters. But before you start packing up your car with those skis, there's something that you need to know about the weather. Con number 1 is the weather has serious commitment issues. Reno sits at about 4,500 feet in elevation, which basically means the weather patterns here run on pure chaos. You could genuinely get sunburned by noon and snowed on by 4 p.m. The summer generally stays in the 90s, and then in the winter it will drop down below freezing. And then in spring, well, it throws some hail at you while you're on your Costco run just for fun. And then we have wildfire smoke season. Yeah, that's from August through early fall on some years. And yes, you will end up owning an air purifier the size of a small child. It'll have you checking the air quality index like it's your stock portfolio. And finally, there's that thing we love to call wind. And listen, we're not talking about a breeze. I've seen patio furniture achieve liftoff, Trampolines relocate themselves, and umbrellas, well, they just retire out early. So if your patio umbrella survived spring, well, congratulations, you're chosen. And okay, here's the pro that no one's talking about. The location here is stupid good. We're only about 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe, 2 hours from Sacramento, and just about 4 hours back to San Francisco. Plus the Reno Tahoe International Airport boards and flies out about 4.5 million people a year. And the TSA check lines here, well, they're not going to age you a decade just trying to get through them. Most of the time with my TSA pre-check, I can be from the curb to my gate in about 15 minutes. So you could ski Saturday, fly out Sunday, and still be back home for that meeting on Monday, you know, if that's your kind of thing. So now, let me tell you what that $30,000 in tax savings won't buy you anymore. This brings us to the con number 2, and that is housing is not a secret deal anymore. And a decent 3-bedroom rental is going to run you right between about $2,500 to $2,800 a month. This is mostly because of Trick, our industrial park that's here. They house Tesla, Google, Switch, Panasonic, now a whole string of data centers and AI hubs. Basically, it took our housing market, shook it real hard and said, good luck. Starter homes under $400,000 are now rare. Mountain views under $250,000, sure. If you're okay with the walls being made out of cardboard and looks like it's been featured on a episode of Hoarders. Now, if you're wondering what that $635,000 would actually buy you here in different neighborhoods, or what all that Bay Area equity could get you here, let's jump on a call. I'll actually pull up the MLS live and speak to you about your lifestyle and what your budget will afford. All of our links are in the description below. But wait till you hear what's happening with Reno's culture. Pro number 4 is it's actually grown up and it's a lot more diversified than it was just a decade ago. Reno 1.0 was casino buffets, cigarette haze, and neon sadness. Reno 2.0 is craft coffee, local breweries, murals, chef-driven food, concerts, and more events than you could even physically attend. That's because we have over 1,300 restaurants right here in our area, along with over 800 live events and shows every single year. We have the Reno balloon races, the rib cook-off, and the Reno Rodeo, which is one of the greatest rodeos in the entire West. Then there's Hot August Nights, Burning Man, which is basically Tesla's unofficial company picnic. Plus now you have UNR's 160 million Gateway District. This has added a lot of students, jobs, walkability, and a life that's downtown without all those empty parking lots and regret. Now, here's the reality check coming in at con number 3. Despite all that growth, Reno's still a small city. We've got 290,000 people who live inside of Reno. We have about 580 in Sparks in Reno and about 800 in Northern Nevada. We still have no pro sports teams other than the Reno Aces, which is a minor league baseball team, and in a couple of years we're actually adding a pro soccer team. But there's no Michelin rated restaurants, and our nightlife tends to check out early, like 9:30 p.m. early. So if you need constant big city chaos and those 4 sushi bars that are still open at 2 a.m., you're probably going to get bored. That just means you're probably going to resort to let's organize the garage for entertainment kind of board. But I want to talk about pro number 5 and what's still bringing thousands of people here every single year. Our job market is actually strong. Our unemployment is currently sitting at 4.2%, well below the national average, and it keeps dropping. And this is even with adding 8,000 new residents every year. Trick has brought well in excess of $100 billion in new investments for the local area. It's designated as one of the largest industrial parks in the entire world, and it has about 107,000 acres. We are becoming a true legitimate space for both AI and data hubs. There's currently under construction over 13 million feet of data centers and AI hubs being built right now. In addition to that, we have logistics, manufacturing, electric cars, and then we also have defense and aerospace. Companies here are hiring faster than they can even build the parking lots. And all that growth comes with a cost. And that brings me to con number 4. The growing pains are real. Traffic's heavier, schools are crowded, and construction is everywhere. Washoe County has added over 73,000 residences in just the last decade, and that's a 17% increase in population. And infrastructure's playing catch up like a parent chasing a toddler at Disneyland. It's tired, it's sweaty, and it's questioning every decision. But pro number 6 is what most people get completely wrong about Reno. And that is, it's a lot safer than most people think. Most of the crime here is property crimes, like I forgot to lock my door and somebody else decided to help themselves kind of thing. Because when it comes to violent crimes, well, we are well below large cities. So honestly, you're more likely to lose a trash can to the wind than your Cadillac converter. But speaking of things that people worry about comes in at con number 5, dealing with healthcare. That's because healthcare here is limited. I mean, healthcare here is okay. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's just limited. So if you're used to having 15 specialists all within a mile, then prepare yourself for a slight downgrade. That's because Renown here is the main provider, but coming in 2026, Kaiser's about to come and link arms with them and open up more options. And here's the thing that nobody wants to mention, but it's con number 6. And that is, on some years, the air quality can really tank. August through October can get smoky on some years. You will end up owning an air purifier. And that's just because if there's a fire anywhere in California or Oregon and sometimes Idaho, that smoke blows into our little city and seems to sit right in between all the mountains. So you'll end up checking the air quality index obsessively. And you could even get dramatic about it. Most of us do. But here's one of my most favorite things about living here coming in at pro number 7. And that is, we're still a special place because we still have a community. People say hi, your neighbors still want to talk to you, and your barista's gonna know your drink all by day 3. And honestly, it's pretty refreshing. It makes you feel like you have a belonging. That is, until you run into everybody you know on that Costco run on a Saturday afternoon. Now for pro number 8, the food and the coffee culture is punching well above its weight, and it's truly becoming a thing. We're talking craft coffee, breweries, sports brunches, pizza, sushi, cocktail bars, and locally owned restaurants. People will still fight to the death over who makes the best latte in the area, and I can truly appreciate that level of passion. But here's the challenge that you're going to face when you get ready to buy coming in at con number 7. And that's because the housing inventory is tight. It's not just prices, it's the supply. We tend to stay right between 2 to 3 months worth of inventory. Between the mountains, water rights, and that red tape, we can't just keep sprawling endlessly. So buying a home here can feel like musical chairs, but with far less chairs and a lot more buyers. And speaking of buying, if you're actually considering making a move to Reno, we should connect sooner than later. And that's not because I'm trying to be pushy, it's simply so that you can understand the culture and what goes on here in our market before you begin competing in it. The Reno market here moves fast, like list to pending and sold all in days. That's because we have a lot of mixed communities here. I mean, anything from a first-time home buyer to that $20 million estate and everything in the middle. So book that call with my team and I. All of our information's down in the description just below. Now let me tell you about the Win just one more time. Coming in at con number 8 is still worth mentioning the Win just one more time because it deserves its own category. The Win here has dreams, aspirations, and probably even a LinkedIn profile. It relocates furniture, recycling bins, your yard decor, and even sometimes your ego. We generally just have light breezes all year, but in May you could even lose that chihuahua. It usually blows hard for about 2 weeks. In my neighborhood, it's not uncommon to see 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts every year, and in certain parts of Reno, even up from there. And in some years, it does the same thing during our winter storms. Mostly it's just a breeze, but you do have to be prepared for spring because it's going to hit every year. But here's what makes it all worth it. Pro number 9 is you're about to get some room to breathe. We're talking bigger lots, open views, quiet streets, and trailheads instead of strip malls. And for the stars, well, you can actually see the stars at night without your telescope. We watch the stars every night. When my wife Cindy and I actually sit in the hot tub, you can see it clearly. And it's so clear most nights because we're at 4,500 feet of elevation, it's almost like having a front row seat to the outdoors. So now let me give you a fair warning, and that's coming in at con number 9. That's because Reno will completely ruin you for all other cities. I relocated over a decade ago from California, and honestly, I didn't know what I was going to feel or think about this. I'd literally left everything I had ever known, being born and raised in California. And my wife, well, she didn't think she'd like the snow or the cold, and both of us still have family back in California. But it was only a few months in for both of us before we said we're never moving back again. And the awesome thing is, I'm just a few hours away if I ever want to go back and see the Outlaws. So after you get used to the sunshine, the mountains, the space, and keeping most of your check, other cities are about to feel crowded, expensive, and honestly, just wrong. Now let me give you the brass tacks and tell you what other realtors won't. Medium sales price here are still climbing by about 7% a year. Mortgage rates are currently floating right at about 6% and dropping. Jobs are strong, unemployment is low, and inventory is tight. So if you're waiting for a crash, you'll be waiting longer than the Costco gas line on a Saturday afternoon. Reno today is what Austin was 10 years ago. And with growth just starting, in my opinion, it's set to more than double. Here's my honest opinion to you. Reno's not perfect, but that's exactly what makes it perfect for the right people. So if you love sunshine, outdoor access, a growing food scene, friendly people, and a life that just feels more balanced, then welcome home. But if you need ocean views, nonstop nightlife, and weather that behaves, then Zillow's going to have some coastal options for you. But if you're seriously considering making a move to Reno, then let's jump on and have a Zoom call. We'll go over your lifestyle and what's most important to you and your family. Then we'll go into what you can afford within your budget. We'll also walk you through the neighborhoods, answer your questions, and go over what relocating actually looks like. And there'll be zero pressure because we're not trying to sell your house today. We're just trying to figure out on this call if Reno even makes sense for you. Because here's the thing, some of the people I talk to absolutely shouldn't move to Reno, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I'd rather spend about 30 minutes on a Zoom call with you and help demystify and clarify what Reno actually looks like for you than have you move here for 6 months and waste that time and find out it's absolutely the wrong place. So grab the link below, book a time that works for you. And if you're not looking to move, at least hit that like and subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss my next video where I'm going to talk about the top neighborhoods in Reno and what you can afford in each one of them. I'm Chris Raynor, your go-to realtor for all things Reno. So if you see me at a coffee shop with my laptop and an espresso, stop and say hi. If not, we'll see you on the next one.